சார் இப்படி இந்த பக்கம் திரும்பி
Thank the management, staff, and parents of the Maduram Narayanan Center for Exceptional Children for this kind invitation to join you all this evening to mark the inauguration of the 6th International Conference, this year entitled Towards Inclusion, Evidence-Based Supportive Practices and Early Intervention. It really is an honor to be here. But I have to say, when Mr. Kumar and Mr. Krishnan approached me about this some time ago, I was a little skeptical, because I had no background or expertise or knowledge that can add to the discussion that a room full of experts will have on this most important topic. But after they told me the history of MNC, the introduction of technology that he brought, the work of the center that they pioneered, and especially the stories of the children and their parents and the lives that have been changed, well, I was inspired and wanted to join. Mr. Kumar and Mr. Krishnan also left me with a book, A World of Difference, which chronicles the story of the Maduram Narayanan Center for Exceptional Children. In paging through this book, I read portraits of the many over the years who contributed so much. I saw pictures of past events and conferences. I spotted many a familiar face, including my predecessors as Consul General. Also in this book, reading about the history of the center, I came across a quotation that I found so appropriate for the work and mission of the center. It came from one of my favorite writers, the American transcendentalist Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the quote reads, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." Now, there's a lot to unpack there. And I wouldn't begin to get into a long discourse on transcendentalism or its connections to the Hindu scriptures, Hindu philosophy. I'm not equipped to do that, but it's a great discussion. But for me, that quote encapsulated why we're here. For me, there was a core idea there that there are great things of value in each and every person. Every person has a gift inside, and each individual matters. And that's why I think the title of your conference, Towards Inclusion, is so important and so relevant today. At a larger level, we support and are working for inclusion in so many areas. In the workplace, in sports, in public accommodation, and in business. Some of this has been advanced through legislation. Some of this has been advanced through changes of attitude. And some of it has been as a result of seeing the benefits that accrue from that sort of inclusion. And I think we've all become more sensitive to the needs and ways that we can include and accommodate others who may be different than we are. And that's in whether it's in a building design or preparing a specific program to support and accommodate others. But through all that, what could be more impactful than making inclusion a driving principle for kids? Those who are differently able, those with challenges, those who may need some special training or accommodation. Remembering the value of each person, that each person has value and something to give, impels us in that direction. Toward inclusion, what more noble goal? I'd also like to comment briefly on language. Jesus Krishna Swami talked about the evolution of how we talk about the children. That matters greatly. It matters to them, it matters to the parents, but it really matters to all of us. Because when we talk about exceptional children, we understand what we mean, but it also opens up our minds to the possibilities. And realizing that these can be children who are included in society at all levels. You know, as the American Consul General here in Chennai, I am particularly delighted that there are so many experts and top resource people from the United States, from our leading universities, who are here to participate in this year's conference. So, welcome on behalf of the Consul. The ongoing and growing connections between India and the United States are apparent today in so many fields. In trade and commerce, in security and defense, in cultural exchanges, and in the academic fields. And we can measure that by the number of Indian students in the United States, which is over 200,000 today. Or we could measure it by the 20,000 people who have participated in the Fulbright program between India and the United States in the last 70 years. That's a government-sponsored exchange program of researchers, students, and academics and professors that goes both ways, from India to the United States and from the United States to India. In fact, that government-sponsored program has been so successful that the government of India co-sponsors part of it, and we refer to it as Fulbright Nehru here in India. And it's the largest such Fulbright program we have around the world. Again, I can think of no better way to celebrate the connections between the U.S. and India when we can share expertise, share best practices, share our experiences. I congratulate the Center on organizing this conference and for its work in the local cultural context and milieu to bring together the different disciplines into a single program. From physical rehabilitation specialists to medical experts, and even the role for music therapists, and many more. As I said, we have so much to learn and learn from each other, and learn to work together in the most effective ways for early intervention to affect the greatest opportunities and outcomes for these children. I wish you a successful conference, and I wish MNC and Bala Mandir a successful and sustainable future doing this important work.
Mr.Robert Burgess, Consul General, United States Consulate, Chennai. Mrs. Maya Dalpandi, Mrs. Jaya Krishnan, Professor Jayachandran, Mr. Krishnan, resource persons from the US and India, well-wishers of Narayanan Center and Bala Mandir, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am delighted to welcome all of you to this inaugural function of the 6th International Conference and the 16th National Workshop of Maduram Center for Exceptional Children MNC this evening. The theme of this year's conference is Towards Inclusion, evidence-based supportive practices in early intervention in intellectual disabilities. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have Mr.Robert Burgess, Consul and US Consul in Chennai, who is considered to be our chief guest in spite of the busy schedule. Thank you, Robert. Your presence here is truly a great value. Thank you. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome our distinguished speakers over the next 2 days. Many of them will travel from the US and many speakers from India, from different parts of India. Thank you for coming here. Very special. RCI has recognized MNC and given permission to conduct RCI approved diploma courses in early childhood special education (MR). This has helped many of our parents qualify themselves as special educators, thus fulfilling one of our objectives in empowerment for parents. RCI was also given accreditation to this conference, and we thank them for their continued support. We would also like to thank the Department of Differently Able, Government of Tamil Nadu, who been very supportive in not only implementing our early intern program OpenAct in all the district early intern centers, but most importantly in encouraging our initiatives and activities. We therefore thank the Government of Tamil Nadu. This year, ladies and gentlemen, is very special. MNC took a significant step towards ensuring long-term sustainability and strengthening of services. This we did by integrating with Bala Mandir BMKT. Though MNC has been associated with Bala Mandir BMKT for the last 15 years, we this year have integrated operations and work today as one large unified organization which looks to the good of children between the age group of birth to 16 years. This partnership, I am sure, will help Bala Mandir to provide an inclusive education system about which we heard just earlier in the AVM UK's memorial lecture. I believe as we proceed on this journey, MNC will embark on going beyond the age of group of 6 years so that we help our children who have undergone overnight early intervention to be productive in their adult lives. I also believe that in the overall scene, this international conference which begins tomorrow plays a very vital role as it brings together the best of class to share ideas and views. I believe this conference also serves as a platform to create awareness amongst the general public and parents on the need for early intervention. I take the opportunity to welcome all the delegates, and I'm sure the next 2 days will be one of learning and also sharing of great practices. I once again welcome all of you to this inaugural function and thank Robert for being here. Thank you.
Mrs. Bala Mandir will present
Sir, when you bring over
the key to Bala Mandir to the chief guest.
Sir.
I now invite
Mr.Robert Burgess, Consul General's Consulate, Mr. N. Kumar, Professor Jayachandran, Jai Krishnaswamy, Mr. Krishna. It gives me great pleasure to stand before this gathering and share with you a sense of joy and fulfillment that the Bala Mandir Karanach Trust feels in relation to this wonderful integration with the Maduram Narayanan Center for Exceptional Children. We're so happy that they have joined our very large joint family, which is a family is so special in India. I'm sure that this was the vision of our founders, Mr. Kamraj and Mrs. Manjubashni, who started the institution of Bala Mandir in 1949, 70 years back, with just 2 little orphan children. And over the years, I did not have the opportunity to meet with Mr. Kamaraj, but I worked very closely under Manjunash, and she always said, Maya, you know, there's something still missing in Bala Mandir. We're doing it for children. And what I would just like to say very naturally, that I think the right things happen at the right time. And I remember very clearly that one day Vimla Kannan, who was with us already in Parliament, walked in and said, you know, I know an organization called MNC, they're having a little problem with location and finding a rental place. So do you think Bala Mandir would have some place to give them? This was in the early 1990s. And when I went to Manjuma, she said, Nalla. That is, good people are going to come in. And definitely let them do it in Bala Mandir. I don't know whether we can do it. And that's been over early 90s, so that's almost 20 years. When Narayanan Center was geographically located within Bala. The relationship with the Narayanan Center is very interesting to know. It didn't just start with the center. Both names, Maduram Narayanan, Mrs. Maduram Narayanan, and K.S. Narayanan, very good friends of Manjunash. They were already well-wishers of Bala Mandir, supporters. And while when you enter Bala Mandir now, we have a huge office building. For those of you who know Bala Mandir for many years, for decades earlier, we had a tiny little office building, which is called the Maduram Narayanan Office Block. And even today, we have a photograph of Mrs. Maduram Narayanan in our office. When I came to Bala Mandir over 30 years back, I used to wonder who this member was, because generally it's only members' photographs. Manjuma sitting there and my very good friend, Maduram Narayanan. She was such a wonderful person, that's why I bought her photograph in the office so I can see her every day. So this is the kind of, you know, I would like to share that there is a formal integration, administrative, all of that will take place when two NGOs get together. But it's that feeling that yes, we are doing together and one fulfilling the other. Just very briefly about Bala Mandir for those who may not know. Though we've been there for 70 years, I hear a lot of people say, oh, you've been there for 70 years, you didn't check it out? I said, yes, we're there in 5 acres. So most people say, oh, really? I didn't know, but we never used to have a wall. We have one now, which tells you that there's Bala Mandir Kamaraj Trust. Starting with children, orphaned and destitute. It has moved beyond childcare into education, medical care, vocational training, rehabilitation of the orphan and the abandoned children. And now we have added on to our code of conduct, wonderful word, on our 70th year, inclusion. And we looked at inclusion in many ways, not only with disability, but whether it was gender, it was language, it was socio-economic status. And what is wonderful was the uniqueness with which Bala Mandir functions as a whole. Our admission policy for over 70 years has been for the child below 6, admission policy. Then the child grows up. Now interestingly, Maduram Narayanan Center for all these years has been working for children up to the age of 6. What has happened as a result of this integration is that we got what we wanted. Expertise to work with children with special needs who needed to be included. And Maduram Narayanan Center today can continue its children within the framework of the Bala Mandir Kamaraj Trust across the spectrum from birth to 18 years. So, I was once talking to Mr. Krishnan and I said, you know, I was told once that when marriage takes place, it's called a bandham. Okay, you get together, you sign a contract or whatever it is. Today, everything has to be legally done. But now what we are doing is called sambandham. And that term sam means that beautiful relationship which has to grow between two, when one member joins a new member. And of course, I laughingly say that, this is a new daughter-in-law, so we should take her a little gently. We've been there for a good 70 years, but when she joins our family, we learn two generations need to understand itself. I'm talking in these very normal terms because it is not necessary for us to know what happened. It is wonderful when we need a new president. We automatically chose Kumar, who had already been on our list. That when we want another president, but by then Maduram Narayanan came in. Jaya Krishnaswamy has a very important role she has played in Bala Mandir. When we started our work with our research foundation, which spreads the idea of parenting across the country, very often when we talked about parenting, people used to say, there's an angle which we must understand. Can you help us identify that children have a problem? We had no expertise. So we talked about holistic development of the child, but stopped at identification. And this was even before this, was our mentor for the Bala Mandir Research Foundation. We are working in 4 states in the country, in different languages. But she taught us in such beautiful, simple ways to empower the parent to identify that yes, there is a problem. And then take that to a professional, which is really what is empowerment of the parent who's there. Dr. Kushi spoke about those 1,000 days and how important it is the early part of the childhood. And I had, over the years, heard so many of my friends who ran NGOs and said, I wish this child had come earlier. We could have helped the child more. Not that we would have cured the child. Earlier the child came. And that set us thinking and said, yes, that we need to really explain, but how did we do it? We didn't have any such expertise. And over the last 20 years in our parenting program, Jaya has been our mentor. And thanks to her and Maduram Narayanan Center, and then Dr. Jayachandran Consul, all their mentors just automatically this wonderful friendship that has grown. Now, without getting into, all of you know a lot about Maduram Narayanan, but I would just say that to me, the most natural thing happened. 2 organizations with similar values, commitment to holistic development of children in difficult circumstances, have now come together in one joint family, surnamed Bala Mandir. Okay, that's the surname, that's it, and that's just Bala Mandir. And which was named as such, because this is Manjubashi, our founder. When I asked her, why did you choose the word Mandir? She said, don't get all Hindu about it. She told me, that was her way. She said, the term Mandir is very beautiful, it says the temple. Now everybody goes to the temple and they pray to God, they do things for God and all. I just said that with this temple, the child is the deity. So you do everything positively that you can, and that's the reason I told Mandir. And that's not because I'm a Hindu. She was very particular. That was the way Manjunath spoke. Today, there's a friendship and a warmth and mutual trust, which is very important when 2 organizations get together. We see that relationship formally. It has fulfilled the long-felt need of both organizations, pooling in expertise and resources, creating location stability, good governance through professional management processes, which we are mutually learning and understanding. For the future existence of a very well-defined succession plan is very important. We're talking 70 years or 30 years, and we want the good work to go on. MNC's edition has added tremendous quality to Bala Mandir, to our envisioned commitment to holistic development of children, and as I said earlier, today already they have now commissioned very recently for a school to take children beyond 6, because that's what the mandate of Bala Mandir is, and if we can do it, we have the space, we have the... In future, we will have together, the way forward would be to create a center of excellence enhancing each other's contacts nationally and internationally. And I'm so happy that I'm now meeting up formally, but of course informally with our guests from America. Increasing the scope of research, reach out, and a recognition of those vital values so necessary in our society. Also be in a position to share best practices with others, which is so important because you do something, you benefit from it, others should benefit equally from it. Our integration in the work we are now doing for all children. Koshi talked a lot about this word inclusion. I must say we are learning, and I do hope that very soon we will be able to share with others that what is this reality that's called inclusion. And I hope that will happen with all of this. Thank you.
3 decades of the journey in early intervention services with Maduram Center for Exceptional Children. Greetings from Maduram Center for Exceptional Children. Respected Sir, Mr.Robert Burgess, Consul representing the USA, Dr. Veena Koshi, Head of Department Development of Pediatrics, Bristol Medical College, Bangalore, Professor K. Vijayaraghavan, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Prime Minister of India, not present today, visiting dignitaries, members of the Managing Committee of the Bala Mandir Trust, all invitees to the events of the day, staff, children, and parents of MNC. I am privileged to present to you an overview of the 3 decades journey that MNC has undertaken since 1989. Any journey has a starting point, a direction, a vision of what is ahead, and an outlook for happy outcomes. So it has been for Maduram Center for Exceptional Children. In the 80s, the term disability was not in usage in common parlance and not understood in its totality. Visual and hearing disabilities had gained some attention, but not intellectual disability. Intellectual disability was then called mental retardation. The term was certainly more acceptable than the earlier personalized ones such as imbecile, moron, or idiot. Yet, the term mental retardation had its own inadequacies and crudities. Retardation meant a halt, a no moving beyond, and therefore persons with mental retardation could only be managed at best. And the sensitivities of care, concern were not pulsating at all, and recognition to the persons as also citizens of the child population was a far cry. It did not exist at all. It was in this scenario that Maduram Center for Exceptional Children, MNC as it is known today, began its journey in the world of disabilities, intellectual disability in particular, in December of the year 1989. The mission was to provide early intervention services to children with disabilities as early as the disability was detected, make the services available to any child 6 years and below and with special needs reaching the portals of the center, to hold hands with the mother in helping her overcome her grief, shock of the unexpected happening, build up her self-confidence to lead her child along the path of development, step by step help her understand the child, disability apart, support the child to perform as many possible activities as of daily living. And most importantly, look ahead in the journey, the vision that one day the child unknown earlier would be recognized as one with a rightful place under the sun as much as anybody else. Maduram Center began the journey with 3 children, all around 2 to 3 years of age, and their reference to the center came from 2 very well-known pediatric psychiatrists in the city who could judge, even in those times, the special education training for the development of the child was very important as much as medical intervention was. Sadly enough, special educators were very few then. The available intervention programs were those that were from overseas, Well researched though, but with a bias towards the Western methods of child rearing practices. And the importance of early intervention was yet to be realized. Thanks to the professional guidance given by experts, the Open-Eyed Early Intervention Program, structured, simple, and easy to use, based on the cultural milieu of the country, had been got ready, its workability and suitability field tested. A felt need was being fulfilled in its use. Creche care trained teachers were recruited and given close guidance by the founder principal of the center, herself a trained and experienced special educator. Parents were involved from day one. Every parent learning from the special educator to train her own child, and soon moving with confidence to train another mother's child, to plan team games, to counsel each other, and to participate and enjoy celebrations, even simple ones, such as their children's birthdays. MNC was ready on its journey, an eventful one with the children, parents, and staff all participated and all scanning the distance for the light of hope. A decade had passed by. Parents who were earlier asking, will my child call me Amma? Will my child walk? Will my child run or speak? Began asking, when will my child go to school? Exposures through national level workshops, international conferences on the importance of early intervention opened new vistas in the direction in the provision of services, sharpening the processes, and defining and analyzing the expected outcomes. The decade of the brain, an exposition on the plasticity of the brain, on how much it is possible when nothing seemed possible, gave a fresh look at the educational potential of the child and in optimizing it. The decade of legislations on the rights of persons with disabilities focused on the productive capacity of the child, training the child to evolve into adulthood as socially useful ones. And now the decade of awakening on the rights of persons with disabilities, the right to inclusion, not just a physical one, but more importantly, a participative and a purposeful one has begun. The journey of 3 decades has been eventful. The vision ahead, bright, with hope. Much has been experienced by the devoted parents, committed staff and children, and MNC learning, experimenting, and strengthening the programs. From every source there has been positivity and generosity in sharing and giving, be it the government or the public or the core service providers. The policies of the government, both at the center and the state levels, have been inclusive. The programs extensive and intensive, reaching out to population in remote hamlets. Implemented hand in hand with MNC through many refreshing courses and workshops conducted over the years. The journey is continuing. The horizon is always at a distance, but seemingly near. Many milestones are yet to be crossed. Eventually, it is visualized that reduction in disability will capture disability, early detection will weaken its manifestation, early intervention will fortify the strengths for inclusion. Inclusion, when it happens in its reality, will be the ultimate. That day will then be the Vande Mataram for all the parents, the teachers, and the families. Thank you.
Of all disabilities, intellectual disability is the most appalling, because the ones affected are not even aware of their disability. While globally there has been a tremendous advancement in this field, India had been grappling with the issue until just a few decades ago. In 1987, the Indian Research and Development Laboratory, headed by Mr. N. Kumar, Vice Chairman of the Sanmar Group, embarked on a path-breaking project to bring technology to help children with intellectual challenges. As part of this endeavor, Air Vice Marshal V. Krishnaswamy, an electronics expert, Mrs. Jaya Krishnaswamy, an educationist, and Professor J. Tamir, an internationally renowned developmental psychologist, got together to develop a system of early intervention in mental retardation suitable for the Indian social milieu. This exercise led to the formulation of Upanayan Early Intervention Program in 1989. The word Upanayan means to lead along. It is a systematic, structured program for the management and training of children with developmental delays. In this program, the mother as an educator leads the child along the path of development. In the process, she is advised and guided by experts and evolves as a carryover agent, co-educator, and a co-therapist for her child. As a testimony to its import, Upanayan was blessed and released by Saint Teresa. On 12th December 1989, Maduram Narayanan Center for Exceptional Children was set up as a resource cum demonstration center for the Upanayan program in memory of Mrs. Maduram Narayanan, whose family has been instrumental in the creation of this project. MNC had its humble beginning as a small but adequate place with 2 children and 4 special educators. Within a couple of years, the strength rose to over 100 children. At MNC, each child is assessed by a multidisciplinary team of experts who devise an individualized education plan unique to the child's needs. This includes physio, occupational, speech, and play therapies, yoga, and so on. This holistic intervention program maximizes potential in the children, preparing them for the ultimate goal of inclusion. So the work drew the attention of UNICEF, which sponsored MNC to attend the International Portage Conference at Jamaica in 1990. Meanwhile, at the national conference organized by the National Institute for Mental Handicap in India, 2 MNC parents presented the simple and easy way Upanayan was being implemented at MNC. This transformation from helpless parents to empowered changemakers on a national level demonstrated the magnitude and potential of the program. Seeing the progress of their children, parents coming from even far-off places endured immense hardships to bring their children regularly. Leaving all their burdens outside, they would enter enthusiastically, looking forward to working with other parents, following the instructions implicitly. What they initially perceived as a misfortune turned into a blessing, as they felt a powerful sense of purpose in their lives for the first time. Faced with many crises to relocate, MNC was gracefully given a home by the management of Bala Mandir Trust and their premises way back in 1994. Since then, this symbiotic relationship has developed into a long-standing partnership. MNC and Bala Mandir Research Foundation have been partnering in several programs in parenting across various cities. This enriching partnership led to the integration of MNC with Bala Mandir Trust from 1st April 2018. The Centre itself has expanded its services to a much broader spectrum of disabilities that include children with cerebral palsy, autism, Down syndrome, and multiple disabilities, providing them adequate therapeutic intervention along with early intervention. Additionally, music, art, dance, theatre, and physical education have been introduced. Medical intervention for general health, vision, hearing, dental care have also become part of the program. Meanwhile, there has been a gradual awakening among the parents in understanding and caring for their child in terms of education, health, vocational training towards self-management, etc. Support groups, advocacy groups, and government initiatives have also helped the parents understand the rights of their children. Every parent wishes to see their child integrated into mainstream society. But this is not just a dream, it is a reality that is happening. The integration of MNC with Bala Mandir Trust has paved a roadmap towards inclusion. As part of the Sunmargam project, cognitively developed children are being sent to Bala Mandir pre-primary and primary school. Unlike our project is a methodology projected to display outcomes in the nutritional status of children from the given medical interventions. Some Power project introduces children to experiential intervention by exposing them to real-life situations that reinforce skills learned in the school environment. Socially useful productive activities SUPA is a program initiated to train the children who are not suited for mainstream to lead a productive life as they enter their adulthood. Over the years, the backbone of our growth has been the special educators, therapists, and supporting staff. The special educators are a rare and precious breed of people who possess infinite patience, compassion, and a calling to serve. These unsung heroes are hard to find. To identify potential candidates and nurture their skills, MNC set up the AVNVK Training Academy. The Academy offers diploma in early childhood special education approved by Rehabilitation Council India. MNC also partners with the government of Tamil Nadu in various projects such as setting up early intervention centers in various districts and providing training for staff under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. MNC is committed to research and constant updating of the program. The center has developed Upanita, a software that documents data and analyzes progress of each child in the early intervention program. The software is now in cloud platform, which will help in replicating the program. MNC also conducts workshops and international conferences that give access to the latest developments in the field of early intervention globally. While we strive to reach out to as many children as possible, we also constantly remind ourselves that over 70% of these disabilities can be prevented. In this context, MNC has set up a team of special educators, psychologists, and medical professionals to educate parents in planning safe pregnancies and delivery. The spark that started 3 decades ago has now become a guiding light in the field of early intervention. Recognition has come from many quarters, but our greatest reward comes from the smiles of these divine children.
Every day he goes to Bala Mandir primary school, comes back, and in the evening there is a gardener, but he would take the hose from him and waters all the plants in Bala Mandir. Great. Very nice. Narayanan, that was wonderful. I want to Narayanan is part of our family. He has been doing this thing for us right from the beginning. Very earnestly, a great well-wisher, and although he gives tensions to me, the film gets ready at the last minute, but then outcome is more important. Very good. Appreciation. I would like, yes.
On behalf of Maduram Center, Mr. N. Kumar will present a memento to Mr. Niranjan. Mr. Swami will present the key to Bala Mandir. We will now go on to the inaugural part of the session. We now have the inauguration of the 6th International Conference by a ceremonial cutting of the ribbon on the backdrop by the chief guest. Mr. S. Krishnan will accompany the Consul General, Mr. Robert Burgess.
It should work. Hopefully. Are we ready?
கொஞ்சம் அந்த பக்கம் வந்துருமா
We saw an invitation for attending a training program on social accounts and audit, and this was conducted by Social Accounts Audit Network of UK, and this was in Hyderabad. We attended the 3-day program, came back, and then both of us felt, I think we should have a social accounts written by MNC and also subject ourselves to audit, because this helps not just in documenting what we are doing, but it gives clarity in the spelling out our objectives, the processes and methodologies, and helps us to introspect and see how we should improve in our functioning. So in that, we are very, very fortunate. We have Mrs. Lata Suresh and Ms. Mahalakshmi. I would like to come. Lata has been she is the accredited social auditor for the SAN, that is Social Audit and Accounts Network of UK. And Lata, please share the word about the process in MNC.
Thank you. It's really a great honor for me to be here to give the 5th social audit certificate to
This year we have Ms. Mahalakshmi as our co-chair.
Excuse me, sir, please. Mama, join us.